let's take our last 30 consecutively treated cases, braces and Invisalign. I want you to calculate how many units we saw on the chair side. So here's that patient's total units, how many months they're in treatment, total number of months appointments, the treatment fee, and the net fee. For the net fee for Invisalign, I subtract about $1,300. That's about where I was at that time. Now I'm closer to $1,200 because of the bonuses I'm getting now. The braces, I just took out $310. Braces are cheap. See my net fee, and then I divided the net fee by the number of units that we saw them.
Could you explain what an Invisalign emergency is?
There are none. Just make sure we include all appointments.
Okay.
Actually, I do occasionally get a occasional phone call.
Or something?
No. Like, I lost in a line or an attachment came off, and I just, what numbers do you have? Well, yeah, we're that number, whatever. So we'll talk. That is one of the, it's a good point. There are so many advantages to Invisalign. You don't get that long appointment that gets you way behind in the clinic.
Well, you had that in a column. I don't understand. You had emergency 77.4 versus 98.90.
Those, just think of it as appointments. But we just made sure we include emergency appointments.
Okay.
But yeah, just anytime, you schedule them, hey, bring them in for a 20-minute appointment, bring them in for a 40-minute appointment, whatever. Okay?
All right.
So it's all total appointments. You don't really have to. As there's no delineation of how much is emergencies or whatever. I should have had to calculate how many emergencies that were in the other. Okay, so then I took, what was the net fee per unit?
That's what the braces are.
Okay. And what I found was that I was making more for every 5 minutes of chair time. Dr. Fry does this in Iowa. You guys ever see him lecture? I was making $4 more per unit or 5-minute unit or whatever, like scheduling blocks in Ortho 2 with my Invisalign patients and with my braces patients. Okay. Now at the time though, I was charging about $500 more for Invisalign. Okay, so this is my average fee. This is just average stuff. Like I said, my staff did it, so they didn't even know how to buy us anything. I just give me 30 patients. So then I said, okay, if I was to make this fee equal, because I'm making more on Invisalign now per unit, what would I have to charge? And so what it came down to, the Invisalign fee should be $152 higher to get the same profit per unit. Okay. Now others have done. There's one in your thing. This guy, the New Jersey, New Yorker guy, Kleinbach, and he showed how per appointment he's making a lot more with Invisalign. Although one thing, when I looked at his study, he had, where was it here? The number of appointments. Number of office visits. So he had like 10.5 for Invisalign, 24.5 for fixed appliances. One thing that I think makes mine closer, because you'll hear a lot of guys start doing braces and Invisalign, same price and things. I'm getting my braces patients done, and I don't know if I just got lucky. It's just, this is a pretty good treatment time for braces too. It's, when you're just taking, it's not like we got everybody going 2-3 years here, whatever. His thing, some of the others are more profitable. If you're, because he was seeing his braces patients 24 appointments and his Invisalign one's 12. So anyway, because the other thing is that should be allowed for in the fee too. You say because it should be possible difficulty. Well, it should have been allowed for in the fee. Also, Invisalign had 22 adults and 18s, and the braces had just had 2 adults and 18s. Okay, so again, you would think that would favor the braces because you had all these teenagers that were so easy. Okay, so what I learned from this? So what I did then last December, I said, well, $150, I'm just doing the same price. And I've doubled the number of Invisaligns that I'm doing. The other thing you got to remember, so if I'm doing the same price, you could say, well, yeah, but now they're making $150 less. Okay. Long term, I think I'll charge a little more, just because Invisalign's so cool. Invisialign's like awesome. Like who wouldn't pay more for Invisalign? But what I found with just your price point, when I was charging $500 more, 90% of my adults would do it. Nobody bad and I pay $500. The teenagers, not so much. Mom's sitting there like, $500? My kid can wear braces. So I got those. Yeah, that's what makes the big. But the teens are the whole market, and that's why I wanted to position myself. Because what's going to happen now? I'm already seeing this. Patient comes in. I say, "You can do braces or Invisalign, same price." Mom says, "Oh, we're not doing braces, or we're not doing Invisalign. We're doing braces." And girl sitting in the chair says, "Julie has Invisalign." Mom's like, "What? Julie has Invisalign?" And so, it's going to be just like having an iPod or something. Every kid, it's going to be the cool thing to have. And that's why I want to position myself that way. And that 152, right now where I'm charging the same, you're going to more than make that up with extra cases. All those adults I showed you that They come in to see me all the time because they've seen 3 other guys and they say, I'm only doing Invisalign. And people told me that I can't do Invisalign. And so you guys know it's all about starts, right? More important, you can raise your lower fee a little bit. But if you can get 10, 20 more starts, that's the whole ballgame. And so that's where Invisalign. And the other place you get starts in Invisalign, I'm just going to skip that, just all the things I just said here. Okay, the Find a Doctor site. Okay, you guys looked at this? I never get that slide from you. How many hits do you guys get a month? Do you know offhand?
We got. I ran it on Monday. 37,000 the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
In Oklahoma.
Is that your whole territory, just state of Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 37,000 hits on the Invisalign website, state of Oklahoma. Okay, I get a ton of patients from Invisalign. So that's like just like having an advertising budget. Like I'm paying $150 so I get all these hits there. Okay, and I got this problem right now that I got some crazy guys ahead of me that have 6 or 8 offices and GPs and offices all over the place, big mills. Once people find us, they like us because we aren't like that. But I still, even when I was coming in number 3 here, I still just get a ton of people who say, how do you find us? Invisalign website. Okay? And it's just one of those things, the more you do, the higher you end up here. And what's going to happen is if you don't do it, somebody down the street is. I mean, this is the future. Where are we going to be 10 years from now? I can tell you from all those teens I'm doing that are going so well, there are going to be so many teenagers in Invisalign 10 years from now, and that's why I'm trying to position myself. Let's talk a little about less emergencies. We're talking about using staff, save doctor time. The key is you got to be proficient in all these skills. So again, it's like riding a bike or like doing your braces now. Where you say, oh, I need to step up. Oh, I need to do a dimple. Oh, I need to do a little IPR. Okay? All those things. So let's talk about where it's going here. The market share is going to increase whether we like it or not. I sat down a few years ago and I started thinking, okay, I'm not going to retire young. Okay? Sorry, Tyler. So I figured I'm going to work a long time. Because I said to another partner, I said, if I was going to retire in 5 years, any of you guys going to retire in 5 years? Don't bother. There's so much to learn. You got all this stuff. You need to take a lot of CE. Don't worry about doing Invisalign. If you're going to work longer than 5 years, in my opinion, you better be doing Invisalign because somebody in your area is, and they're going to, it's all about there's a pie out here. So many parents are going to go get Invisalign for their kid. And the key is, how big is your piece of the pie? Okay, and that was a decision I made. Some of the guys you see that are big in Invisalign, I know some guys down in the Bay Area that some were younger guys that weren't busy, some were older guys who were pretty much tapered down, where they just were kind of cruising, a guy in Arizona like that. And then they decided they wanted to work more, so then they kind of got this niche going with Invisalign. I already had a pretty big practice. You see my staff and stuff, pretty busy. For me, it was simply a decision to say, okay, I'm busy enough without it. I don't need to do this, okay? But where's the market going to be in 10 years? Because if I don't retire in 10 years, and I'm going to see these people, we've had people out our way. Sacramento's pretty hard hit in the recession. We had the big housing boom bust. There's guys down there 30%. We had an orthodontist go bankrupt just out in Grand Rapids, right by my house. Another orthodontist out there left. Okay, one of the ways they do is do Invisalign because you get all these people who are only doing Invisalign, especially adult males, 40-year-old adult males. There's a lot of those. They come in and they say, I am only going to do Invisalign. And so it adds to your practice. It adds to your piece of the pie. Okay? You got the website hits. This is how many we had actually, this was from my lecture in Salt Lake, I think. Invisalign people are happy. And I can tell you it's true in my practice. Invisalign patients are so much happier than the braces patients, but you got to spend the time doing the CE things, okay? But that would be the thing I would take you guys to really think seriously about. Yeah, it's different, okay? But it's kind of like one of those decisions, am I going to do surgical orthodontics or not do surgical orthodontics? Or I'm going to do forceps springs or not do forceps springs. It's just another tool, another appliance in your hands. But the bottom line is, people, because, like I said, I'm already starting to see that. Now, it's taken longer than I thought, I'll be honest with you. I thought by now it'd be just rocking when I made this decision a few years ago. And it's still, and it is doing well. The stock's up, right? But it is taking off. And what's going to happen, again, just like every kid with an iPod, I see 5-10 years from now, you're going to tell this kid, oh yeah, just class 1 karate case, let's just do some braces for 18 months. And the kid's going to be like, Mom, I'm not doing braces. Everybody else at school has Invisalign. So just something to think about. I think that's where the future's going. But you got to learn how to do it. It's a whole different thing. You got to spend the time, like I say, on the CE. You can't do this 1 or 2 weekend courses. Go to the summit. Have any of you guys been to Summit? Dr. Hall probably has. Did you love that meeting?
It goes every year. You go every year. I mean,
we originally we took our staff, the same staff, okay, all along. So we, Judy and I just go.
Yeah, well, and I've only taken my staff once too. I don't take my staff, but I go every time.
They know they're not really learning anything new there.
So, right.
The
staff. You saw the staff skills. You can teach them that.
The educators conference has been pretty cool too.
Yeah. You got to go. You got to take a lot of CE because it's just different. But your skills, you see the same concepts. I'll be like using buttons to rotate teeth and overcorrecting things and reverse curve of speed. It's the same types of things. So this was in Utah. How many hits certain guys were getting? I was going to get this, but you see some guys getting 1,000. Now this doesn't mean they all called, okay? But like this guy at the top, 1,000 people went to his website, okay, in about a month and a half. Okay, now they don't all call. And so anyway, that's it. So here's the game last year, the Florida State game, which is a great game for